Dave Leslie from the Baby Animals. Welcome to Noise11.com. We get to talk about baby animals.
I do know a little bit about that band, being, a 35-year veteran. So, yeah.
35. Well, let's go a little bit before that. Baby Animals formed Sydney 1989. And Suze DeMarchi was living in England, I think. She was already recording, and I was looking at a couple of the old songs that she had between 86 and 88 when she was a solo artist. Young Hearts, Big Wednesday, and Dry Your Eyes. They've never made the Baby Animals set, have they?
I pushed for I actually really like Big Wednesday. I think it's a fantastic piece of pop. Yeah, and with a bit of, we were thinking about putting a harder edge on it, but didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But who knows? It could be resurrected at some point. Yeah,
that would be very interesting. Looking at that, and there's a couple of music videos up there because she was signed to EMI as a solo artist before Baby Animals. She was quite the pop artist then. How did she translate from pop into rock to become, the ferocious front person we've got today with Baby Animals?
I think she always had that rock person in her. Just the deal that she got, and the kind of the sort of person that they wanted her to be was a pop artist, in that particular time. But as soon as she started jamming with myself, Eddie and Frank, and we're listening to Zeppelin and Free and Bad Company and all that sort of stuff, it was pretty evident that it was going to be a rock band. I mean, the bag of songs that she brought with her from the UK were still pretty pop orientated, but we sort of put them through the process, put them through the machine, and they turned out rock songs, which is good.
Well, that first Baby Animals album was produced by Mike Chapman, who, the Australian producer who did so many of those pop songs in the UK in the 70s. I'm surprised that you've taken a pop lead singer and a pop producer, and it's come out the other end as a great rock and roll band. Yeah,
well, we were enthused because he did do the Sweet as well, and produced My Sharona. He's done some pretty amazing rock stuff as well. But yeah, still with that pop sensibility, with that pop tinge, which what was he saying? Yeah, you can't fight the pop. Like, you've got to push the hooks and everything like that, because that's what sells the records. That's what people like. It's what makes it memorable. So he had that sensibility as well, but he let us be the rock band that we wanted to be as well.
Well, so he didn't do you any harm, did he? That was a number one album.
Didn't do any harm at all. Yeah.
For that year, number one record in Australia. Baby Animals were basically one of the biggest rock bands in the country in 1993.
Yeah. 92, 93. When the album was at number one, we were actually overseas touring, so we didn't actually. We weren't in the country to grasp, to what's the word? Sort of bask in its glory. Sorry. We were overseas working.
Working, you were indeed. I saw a video of you on Letterman.
Oh, have you seen that?
I think you did Painless for David Letterman.
We did Painless. I think I did a painful version of Painless on Letterman. Yeah, we worked hard. We were on tour with Van Halen at that point. I think the first night of the Van Halen tour was, I remember it well because it was Australia Day. It was 26th of January, 92, Edward Van Halen's 37th birthday, and the same day that the album went to number one. So that was a big day. That was a big day for everybody involved.
Yeah. What, did both bands get together and celebrate?
Kind of. Yes, indeed, we did.
Nuno Betancourt was one of the co-producers of the second album.
Yes, indeed.
Is that when you first met him?
Yeah, because him and Suze had started a relationship, and he was keen to work with the band. And so he'd turn up and do a couple of things, just turn up at our sessions and everything like that. And then we'd finished the first bit of the second album, and then the label wanted more songs. So Nuno offered to produce, so we went back to LA and recorded more songs with him at the helm.
Ed Stasium, who has, at that point also had such a resume. It must have been amazing working in a studio with him.
Oh, he did. He produced the Smithereens, and I love the Smithereens, right? And but as well as Living Colour, Ramones. I think he'd produced the album for Hoodoo Gurus that Kinky was on.
Mm-hmm.
It did that, or the one after that. There's no time like the right time. I think that was one of
Right.
Ed's. He loves Australians and all that sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So we had these two albums, and then we had nothing, and then we had the acoustic record 2008. Then we had
Mm,
nothing, and we had a third album in 2013. You've
right.
already said that you're writing, you're putting stuff together. How big is that vault at the moment?
It's 10 years worth of demos that we're sifting through. Yes, we're not exactly the most prolific songwriting team on earth. Yeah, and the nothing after the first two records involved a few years of litigation and all that sort of thing too, which I'd rather not talk about. But there's reasons why the band was kind of disassembled at that point. But there's, as we can see now, that there's still life in the songwriting process. We got together. Well, we've just been getting together after gigs. We do the Saturday Red Hot Summer show, go in Sunday, go to a rehearsal room, bash some more stuff into shape. We've got 10 years of songs or demos. Some of them are nearly done. Some of them are just little gems of ideas. But you listen back and you go, "Oh, there's a reason why we started this," and it's just a matter of just getting in the room and bashing them into shape and discovering what sort of album we want to make. But we do want to record. There's no shortage of stuff to do, that's for sure.
Because the early hits, Early Warning, Rush You, were you, Eddie and Suze. Was that all done in the same room at the same time?
Yep. A lot of it was done in my grandmother's spare room. I was living with her at the time in Mascot in Sydney. So we just go there and set up little amps and things like that and just do lounge room jams and we'll rehearse once the band became a thing where we were going to do a record, we got together every day. It became a job. 5 days a week, we'd play on the weekends. Sometimes we'd even play in cover bands on the weekends just to earn some money. But we got together at least, 3, 4, 5 times a week. Whatever, a few hours, whatever, just keep working, just churning stuff out. I've got crates of cassette tapes, Walkman tapes of Baby Animals rehearsals from like 89, 90. I go back every so often and some of it's pretty good. Some of it you just think, oh goodness, what were we thinking, Or myself, Eddie and Frank would get into a room and we'd blast these ideas out and everything like that, and then Suze would listen to them and go, "So you want me to try and sing on that?" There's loads of stuff, but that's the thing. You have a wealth of stuff to pick from, which is good. Yeah, got to do more of that.
I'll try you out on a Baby Animals trivia question here. Let's see if we can get the answer right. What do Baby Animals have in common with Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Bad Company, Slipknot, and Green Day?
I hope Kevin Shirley.
No.
No. Okay. Green Day. You got me there, man.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. Don't know the answer.
Oh, how embarrassing.
You all have a song that is the title of the band.
Well, there you go. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Baby Animals was the B-side to Early Warning, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the song Baby Animals ever performed by Baby Animals?
Back in the early days, it was. Yeah, when we kind of had to play everything we knew because we didn't have enough material to do a whole hour. So to do some Zeppelin covers and anything. Yeah, Baby Animals was definitely performed quite a bit in the first few years. Yeah, it's not exactly Bob Dylan. It's fun to play. It's fun to play though.
Yeah. Looking at one of the more recent set lists, that first album is still the nucleus of the set list today, isn't it?
There was some strong material on it. I mean, we'd be crazy not to do it, We find that in the set list we could try something new or try something more recent, and then you'd always follow it with something from the first record, because if you lose them, you'll get them back with, something more familiar. But Mike Chapman had a lot to do with the arrangements and just the whole production of that record, and harking back to that song sense that we were talking about before. A lot of those songs benefited from his input. There's no doubt about it. You know, he really did. And so that's, you know, I guess still the proof is still in that pudding, really. Yeah.
There's so much live work at the moment. Red Hot Summer out with Icehouse, and then Red Hot Summer out with ZZ Top in a couple of weeks, and George Thorogood and the Destroyers. There's a lot of live work happening, but you also have another band, Truck, who will have new music as well soon.
There's a second Truck record in the can, as they say. It's been recorded, mixed, mastered, everything like that. It's ready to go. We're just working on getting a couple of gigs and things like that, and getting it out there. It's good. It's different to BAs, you know. There's keyboards in it and everything like that. So you have to approach your craft a little differently. The songs are a little different, you know. They're kind of more old school rock. But it's good fun. Good bunch of guys. It's a great adventure, and it's always good to record. You know, it's always good to listen back to things that started in as gems of ideas in your room, and then all of a sudden it grows into this thing that you get to, you know, breathe life into it, and then it comes back to you as this fully fledged piece of art. It's a pretty exciting adventure. Yeah, on any level. Yeah.
You've also had a few shows with Victor Strangers. That'd be a bit of fun, I would imagine, getting out and just doing those shows. And you're playing a different instrument too in that band, aren't you?
Well, I was out for dinner with Victor one time, and he said, "Oh, do you know anyone who'd be willing to, you know, be keen to play bass in an Elvis Costello tribute band?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. Oh, please." So yeah, I jumped into that, and it was because, I mean, I love that stuff. Bruce Thomas, what an amazing bass player! What great songs! Every song of that is just it was a real lesson. It's a real lesson in music, that thing, and I basically learned it parrot fashion. There's not a real lot of difference between what I do and what Bruce Thomas did, except he did it. He wrote that stuff. But approaching it, I'm like, there's no way I can't think of anything more appropriate to play than what you did. So I'm just going to play what you did and serve the song the best I can. You know, there's one of my favourites. It's called "So Like Candy," and it was co-written with Paul McCartney. And you can hear the Paul McCartney bit in it. Like it goes into this thing, and then all of a sudden it goes this Beatlesque sort of thing. You just think, oh, the bass lines are amazing, and yeah, it's really I love that. Love it.
Well, you've got Wanstock coming up as well, and you know, another great lineup. You've got Jason Singh, Taxi Ride, My Sex, Tony Brock doing the Babies, and Tony lives in Australia, and
does he really?
Tony played on Jimmy Barnes' Freight Train Heart album, and he co-wrote Too Much Ain't Enough Love.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, because I think did Jonathan Cain have something to do with that record as well?
That's right, Jonathan Cain. Yeah, that was quite the all-star lineup, that album, wasn't it?
It was an all-star lineup. It's a good record.
Skidinski was chucking the bucks around that year.
Yeah, we had Dave Lindley playing on Driving Wheels and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was a good record. That'll be good too. I'd be there on the Saturday night. However, Truck's doing a gig at Musicland, so I will not be able to attend.
Oh, you're a busy man, Dave Leslie.
You know, I've got a reasonable excuse. Otherwise, I'd be there for sure, man. Because, you know, I'd love to go and see the Babies for sure.
Yeah. So Wanstock in March, Red Hot Summer with ZZ Top in April, Red Hot Summer with Icehouse now.
It's busy. Yeah,
you'll be exhausted by the time the mid-year rolls around.
I was thanking the guitar gods that we got the ZZ Top run. Because it's, you know, Dallas Fresco, Rose Tattoo, us, Living End, George Thorogood, ZZ Top. What a lineup, man! What a guitar fest! It's going to be unreal. And we know the Thorogood guys. I'm hoping it's still the Delaware Destroyers. Because when we were recording the second album in Compass Point in the Bahamas, they were recording next door. They were doing a record next door. So we'd go out at the end of the day and go to the local bar and hang out and shoot pool and have jams and things like that, play cricket on the Sunday. Lovely guys. So hopefully they're the same guys, because that'd be really good to catch up with them too. Yeah.
Perfect stuff. Well, Dave Leslie, always fun to talk to you.
Thanks, Paul. Likewise, always fun to talk with you too.